So today we will be looking into the different sources of history. Welcome to the History Help channel. So the last slide we looked into what is history. This slide we will look into what are the different sources of history. So there are two main sources of history. One is archaeological, another is literary. So when we talk about archaeological, it means remains of the past. And when we tell about literally, it means written records like books, documents, all of them are literal. So, so archaeological are all things. So archaeological could be coins, it could be statues, it could be monuments, it could be mm, um, paintings or anything which you get pottery. All these are archaeological, and literary is all written records. So today we are focusing more on the archaeology. So why do we need sources? So suppose you want to write the story about your city, okay? Or let us say you stay in Mysore and you want to write the history of Mysore. Without proper records, without proper sources, you can't write about Mysore. So, in this way, history is like science. Just like science requires proof, history requires sources. So, history in this way is like science. Okay. So, today we will be looking into more about archaeological in this topic of sources. So, in the archaeological sources, what all comes? So, you have excavations, that is, you dig up and you find out a lot of things. Then you have coins, which is also known as numismatics. Then you have inscriptions. Then you have monuments. Monuments are like shrines, stupas, buildings, all that. So these are the four different types of archaeology. Today we'll be looking only into excavations. So let me tell you a little bit more about archaeology. So few of the European scholars were interested in India, in our country, in history, understanding the history. One of them was Sir William Jones. So he established the Royal Asiatic Society of Bengal in 1784. He was deeply interested in Indian, Orient. He had an Indian bent of mind, and he wanted to discover a lot of about India. So he had set up the Royal Asiatic Society of Bengal in 1784. Then in 1904, the first Department of Archaeology was set up by Lord Curzon. And the first director of this department was Sir John Marshall. Okay, so remember these names: Sir William Jones, Lord Curzon, Sir John Marshall, and all. These are all important European scholars who did a lot of work in the archaeological field. So, once the Department of Archaeology was formed in 1904, a lot of excavations were done. So, a lot of digging up, research, excavations, and all were done, and we came to know a lot about Indian history. So, let us today focus on the excavations part of archaeology. Tomorrow we will look into inscriptions, coins, and monuments. Today we will look into only the excavations part. So when we talk about excavations, So where and all excavations was done? It was done almost all the places, but in the north, it was done in all Harappan sites, and uh, we came to know a lot more about Indus Valley civilization. Okay, so when they excavated Harappan sites, they found houses, they found drains, they found statues, they found seals. So all this was more information about Indus Valley civilization. They also excavated a lot of Buddhist sites. So they came to know about stupas. They came to so a lot of Buddhism and the trade and all of them were discovered through these excavations. What happened in the south? In the south of India also, places like Brahmagiri, Chandravalli, and places like Salem in Tamil Nadu, Kurnool, Kudappa, many areas like this were also done in the south. So places like Kurnool and all were gave more information about prehistory. What is prehistory? Prehistory is the time which is when there were no written records. It came before history. So that is your old Stone Age, new Stone Age. So archaeology, because of these excavations, we came to know a lot more about prehistory. So there were no literary records or written records during prehistory. So because of this excavations, we came to know a lot about, and the other sources we came to know about prehistory. So um, so one of the main thing you should know about archaeology is it is more authentic, because unlike literary records, you cannot tamper with archaeological sources. Like you cannot tamper with a coin which has an inscription. Can you tamper with a coin? No. So it is more genuine or authentic. But in case of literary, which is written, it can always be tampered with, right? The poet or the author can write lies, can exaggerate. So all these problems are not there in archaeology. Secondly, archaeology is also the one which tells you about prehistory. So about old Stone Age, new Stone Age, all that is due to archaeology. So this is the importance of archaeology. That is, it is authentic. It is also the one which tells you about prehistory. Thank you. Next slide we will look into, or next lesson we will look into the inscriptions.